think that no matter which stage you've already performed on, invitation for a TED-branded event is always something special. Though thinking about new ideas and topics are part of my daily job as a brand consultant and marketeer, I knew that this time I really had to step my game up and come prepared. A common approach to develop a creative idea in marketing for brands is to find a describing punchline or claim and use it as a temporary working title in order to give the team working on this a common understanding of the emotion the communication of the brand wants to create. It serves as a starting point to find what we call the truth or the answer of a briefing. Today's request to talk about something which relates to me and belongs to the wider understanding of transfer, transform, transcribe made it easy for me to think about my childhood growing up in Germany as an immigrant. My parents have never learned how to speak German, but they've always insisted on me being integrated into the local German society. Not only sending me to a regular elementary school and a high school, instead of an international school like a lot of other Asian kids with an immigration background, they've always supported me joining local communities such as sport teams or youth groups. So while having an Asian environment at home, I was surrounded by delicious Asian cuisine and cheesy Chinese pop music I can still sing along to. I was always participating in the same activities my friends at school were doing too. My multicultural background and the way my parents have educated me was an example of the long propagated mindset of think global, act local. The concept behind this phrase is actually quite simple. Try to expand your horizon and constantly challenge your own point of view. Think global. And then use this knowledge you've gained in order to create the biggest possible impact. Act local. What this meant for my personal development was that I was constantly confronted with the culture clash of my Asian roots and my German surrounding, and both that I completely adapt to the local behavior and society, and of course, following my overall education of my parents. So having this as my thought foundation, it was quite easy for me to transfer the original phrase into a new catchy punchline. Think global, act global. Well, first, it sounds good for a stage like this, I believe. It triggers emotion and somehow matches to today's topic umbrella of transfer, transform, transcribe. But more important was that my gut feeling told me that there lies a certain truth behind the sentence. Think global, act global. A simple creative replacement of one word has given the original phrase new possibilities of interpretation I wanted to deep dive into. As a professional brand consultant, one of the most frequent tasks I'm confronted with is to help companies to understand the impact the internet has on us as a society and consumers. Accessing international media and exchanging through social networks have become part of almost everybody's daily media consumption. The internet has made information globally accessible, and everybody's voice so powerful that it can cross every national border. In the recent past, there have been a lot of examples, good or bad, which have demonstrated the attention topics can get because of the internet. This is Joseph Kony, leader of a guerrilla group from Uganda, who has gained worldwide attention through the same short-named documentary which was published on YouTube in 2012. A topic coming from a small country from Africa, far, far away from our Western world over here, would probably have never gained such attention without the help of social networks. Well, on the other hand, social media has also helped people with no specific talent gain popularity, like the Kardashians. Our personal impact and presence has a much wider influence than ever in the history of mankind. Of course, the influence is sometimes more and sometimes less tangible, and surely debatable how meaningful this kind of influence is for our society. Other example, if we look into how the internet has influenced our acceptance for foreign music, we can easily find examples to prove that. This is Korean artist Psy, and he has one of the most watched YouTube clips ever, with his official video of 3 billion views. And if we think about that there are only 77 million native Korean speakers in the world, we can surely say that the majority of views are not coming from Korea. And this is me as a Taiwanese guy dancing next to this official statue in Seoul. But even in subgenres like hip-hop, non-Western artists like Keith Ape or Indonesian-born superstar Rich Brian, formerly known as Rich Chigga, are majorly present in the Western music culture. Media powerhouses like Billboard or Rolling Stone are frequently reporting about them on the international publications. Not only our taste in music has been expanded because of the internet, also our point of view on the world has changed. Not only are pictures being shown to us of lovely destinations every single day on Instagram, actually it has become more and more affordable to travel to all these places. And being a backpack nomad actually an acceptable life goal way beyond your 20s. So what kind of influence does this trendy lifestyle additionally has on us as a society? Of course, it has influence on my favorite part of the day, the food we eat. It's no wonder that not only people have been traveling all around the world, also recipes have been brought to places that have never existed before. And trying to exist in this new environment, they have been adapted to local ingredients, mixed with new techniques and combinations, in order to create something new and interesting. So not only people have been traveling from Asia to the US, and of course versa, also the traditional dishes have been brought to new places. The Californian sushi roll is only the start of celebrated trends like kimchi quesadillas, bao burgers, or chicken teriyaki sandwiches. You guys in Berlin surely know about all this. And also taking a look at how people nowadays dress, we can see a mix and mingle of styles from all around the world. Streetwear kids, for example, as the hippest peer group in the last recent years, are celebrating t-shirts with Cyrillic prints naming the Russian fashion designer Gosha Rubzinski. Big Asian character prints saying something random, the wearer even doesn't even seem to care about, since it's about the looks and the Instagram picture nowadays, and not necessarily the meaning behind something anymore. And this is actually also being reflected if we take a look on other part of the industry, like fast fashion. Otherwise, it would be hard for me to understand how negatively affected symbols like the swastika, Hakenkreuz in German, the Jewish badge, end up on the biggest on the clothing items of the biggest fast fashion retailers around the world. In all the before-mentioned examples, references from all around the world have been mixed together in order to create something new. Whether for dishes or fashion styles, the merger of cultural and geographical ideas have shaped the taste and the aesthetics of a whole generation. And the internet has played the role by inspiring the ideas through the content available, but also offering the platform to become relevant in a global conversation. So if we think about the examples from the fields of fashion, music, or food, we can see how a new way of thinking global has pushed the former spheres of influence, and how a few have been able to find a common ground in style and taste by being different and diverse at the same time. I feel very lucky that we are in the world right now where an Indonesian guy can be a popular rapper in the States, or a Russian fashion designer can determine the looks of fashionistas and hypebeasts from all around the world. But how can we really take this mindset of appreciation of global influence and bring it back to our life? How can we increase the openness for each other and really take the differences we all have for granted? In a multicultural nation like Germany, which has a proportion at an all-time high of foreigners by 22.5% in 2017. In comparison to 2016, it has even increased by 8.5%. This kind of mind shift is really required in order to overcome all the problems we have. And my belief is that all this starts with ourselves. It starts with the interaction we have on a daily basis, no matter if it's a face-to-face conversation or an article we read on the newspaper. We have to accept that this world is and will stay diverse. In my opinion, this all starts with understanding each other, but also offering the possibility for others to understand oneself. I think the transformation we as a single person have to achieve is really from getting from consuming global into acting global. Today, I would like to give you 3 easy takeaways on what we can change in our usage of the internet in order to move a step forward to think global, act global. Guidance for a medium which has helped us so far in the context of globalization can really help us to utilize the full potential in our favor in order to create a foundation for a better understanding. Number 1, find your door to discover new cultures. Getting to know new culture will put your view on the world into a new perspective. And my door of getting to know a new culture has always been looking at their food. Looking at what the people appreciate and how the people shared and what the people define as valuable as food has always given me an entry point of understanding the overall behavior and way of thinking of a culture. But food is only my personal starting point because of my general interest. Or into architecture, literature, music, or art. In all those fields, you can find your entry point in order to make it interesting for you to discover these cultures. And in my opinion, this first point is really crucial because I strongly believe that understanding always starts with genuine interest. Number 2, give references the chance to tell the whole story. Why don't we satisfy our infinite curiosity only with new things all the time, but instead really dig deep into one topic? So we have to understand that all the references and punchlines are only a glimpse of a bigger picture, and that every punchline or reference has their own story to tell, and maybe another way of interpretation we haven't even thought of. And if we compare the second point to my first one, I'm so glad that there's so much content on the internet talking about food. No matter what mood I'm in or depending on how much time I have, there's the right media for me to consume. So whether it's a documentary for a lazy evening on the couch, podcast I can listen to while I get ready in the morning, or an Instagram channel I can be inspired by while thinking about new recipes. There's tons of stuff out there. And I believe that whatever field you're interested in, you will find the right content to dig deeper into the culture. Number 3, tell your story. As simple and obvious as it seems, I strongly believe that we sometimes have to rethink what kind of messages we send out on social media in order to represent ourselves. How can we really accept others to really understand us if the only thing we share on social media are selfies, pictures of our recent meal, or the latest fashion items we have bought? This is not a real representation of you or me. And I strongly believe that no matter what your ideas are, what your beliefs are, and all this is a much better reference of yourself than a selfie. So let's all take these 3 points and start to create a foundation where understanding for each other is part of our daily internet usage, so we can really move a step forward to think global and act global. Thank you.